Imagine a building so huge it could swallow 20 Empire State Buildings whole. Or what about a railway so high up in the mountains that you'd need onboard oxygen just to breathe? Now, I know, this all sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but here's the crazy part. It's all real. Right now, all across the globe, engineers are turning these impossible ideas into reality. So let's take a look at 5 projects that are pushing the absolute limits of what we thought was possible. Take a look at this number. 300 billion kilowatt hours. So what is that? Well, that's the amount of electricity a single dam, which is currently being planned, is expected to pump out every single year. That's more power than a lot of entire countries use. Just incredible. And then you have this. We're literally talking about a high-speed train that's going to slice through one of the most extreme places on Earth, where the air is so thin you can't even breathe comfortably. I mean, the kind of engineering it takes to make that happen, it's mind-boggling. So yeah, that's the big question here, isn't it? Are these just wild ideas from some futuristic film, or are they the real deal, the tangible results of modern engineering? Well, as you're about to see, the answer is definitely the latter. We're talking about true mega projects here. These are creations designed to tackle unbelievable challenges and completely reshape the world as we know it. All right, let's kick off our global tour of these 5 jaw-dropping projects. And we're going to start deep in the mountains of Asia. So our first stop is here, at the Yarlung River in the Himalayas. This river actually carves its way through the deepest canyon on the entire planet. And it's that raw, natural power that China's planning to harness with the Medog Hydropower Station. And make no mistake, this project is directly tied to their goals for energy independence and becoming a world leader in engineering. Now, to really get a sense of the scale here, just think about the famous Three Gorges Dam. You've heard of it, right? It's currently the world's largest, and it produces about 100 billion kilowatt hours a year, while Medog is designed to generate a staggering 300 billion. That is 3 times as much power.
But building the world's most powerful dam comes with some absolutely colossal risks. This whole area is where tectonic plates are literally colliding, and one of the biggest earthquakes ever recorded actually hit nearby back in 1950. So engineers have to figure out how to build a structure that's strong enough, but also flexible enough to survive seismic shocks, constant landslides, and just the logistical nightmare of building in such a remote and hostile place. Staying in the Himalayas, our next project is taking on a completely different challenge. It's not about harnessing gravity for power, but actually defying it with a high-speed railway that's going to run across the roof of the world. This is the Sichuan Tibet Railway, and it's a project that's just as much about politics and economics as it is about transportation.
The impact of this thing is all about transformation. Right now, if you want to drive along the current mountain roads, well, it takes 2 very dangerous days. This new railway, it's going to slash that journey down to just 13 hours. It's going to totally revolutionize the connection between Tibet and the rest of China, tying that region's economy way closer to the mainland. And the engineering is just wow. Over 90% of the entire 1,600-kilometer line is made up of bridges and tunnels. We're talking about drilling tunnels that are over 40 kilometers long straight through mountains at an altitude where every single passenger car has to be pressurized, just like an airplane cabin, with its own oxygen system just to keep people safe. Okay, now let's jump over to Europe for a dream that's been in the works for centuries. Seriously, since the Roman times, people have dreamed about connecting Sicily to the Italian mainland. This bridge is way more than just infrastructure. It's a huge symbol of national unity, trying to finally close a major geographic divide. So after decades and decades of debate, the project is finally getting the green light. And it's not just any bridge, it's set to become the longest suspension bridge in the entire world. Its main span will stretch an incredible 3.3 kilometers, and it's going to be held up by towers that are almost 400 meters tall. That's way taller than landmarks like the Eiffel Tower. So why has it taken so long? Well, the Strait is basically a perfect storm of engineering nightmares. You've got powerful sea currents, ferocious winds, and it's one of the most active earthquake zones in Europe. To handle all that, the engineers are planning some really advanced stuff, like massive seismic dampers. Think of them as building-sized shock absorbers just to keep this colossal structure stable. Okay, from a historic dream to a vision of the future, our next stop is Singapore, a city-state that's really built its identity on being a global hub for travel and trade, and they are building Changi Airport's Terminal 5 to make sure they hold on to that top spot for the next 100 years. To put the scale of this into perspective, Terminal 5 isn't just an add-on. This single terminal is going to be larger than all 4 of the current terminals combined. It's being built to handle an extra 50 million passengers every year. That is a massive leap forward for global air travel. Construction kicks off in 2025, and they're planning to open it up in the mid-2030s. But what's really futuristic here is the design itself. It's modular, which basically means parts of the terminal can be expanded or even shrunk depending on what's needed in the future. And the whole thing is going to be run by AI-powered systems and fleets of self-driving vehicles.
For our last stop, we are heading to the Arabian Desert for what is arguably the most futuristic project of them all. This is the Mukaab. It's the centerpiece of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 plan to shift its economy away from oil and create a global icon for a totally new era. And its name, it simply means the cube.
Yeah, the name is simple, but the scale is anything but. The structure is going to be a perfect cube. 400 meters tall, 400 meters wide, and 400 meters long. Just by sheer volume, this thing is set to become the largest enclosed man-made structure on Earth. To help you really wrap your head around just how enormous that is, here's an amazing fact from the project's developers. They say you could fit 20 Empire State Buildings inside of it. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. An entire chunk of the New York City skyline just plopped inside a single building. The Mukaab is designed to be an entire city inside a building. It's going to have hotels, homes, restaurants, and a giant spiral tower in the middle. But the real showstopper, the crown jewel, is a planned immersive digital environment. The entire interior surface will be a screen, able to transform the view from, say, a Martian landscape one minute to a deep-sea trench the next. So from dams and railways to airports and literal city-sized cubes, what all these projects show us is this incredible ambition to overcome nature and completely redefine what's even possible.